Hey guys, I'm super excited to show you my Switzerland trip, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. And yeah, everything started in Zurich. I was staying there for 2 days. I didn't do too much in Zurich because I actually been there before, a couple of years ago. So I just relaxed mostly for the 2 days because I feel like I experienced the city, or at least, yeah, I've seen a lot of it already. So I didn't feel like exploring it again. So I mostly just relaxed and planned like for the next city I wanted to visit. And the main goal for this travel was going to Interlaken and see Jungfrau region. Probably messed out the pronunciations. I'm gonna do that a lot in this video. Be prepared, don't hate me. But anyways, after Zurich I went to a city called Bern. And yeah, like Bern, I had zero expectations about the city because I've been traveling to a lot of cities. I feel like cities for me, it's becoming slightly boring because I want to experience nature, and going to Bern, like, I had zero expectations, but that turned out to be a great like wild card because I thought that the city was really interesting because it had a lot of old buildings, especially the old town. That was really cool to see. It kind of reminded me of Edinburgh, but a mix of, yeah, the Switzerland's nature. So yeah, I really enjoyed that city, to be honest. And the next day I found another hill. You could actually take the train up there, but I decided to hike because I feel like it's more exciting to do that because it's so much more rewarding than just taking the train sometimes. But of course, when it's like massive mountainside, I tend to take the cable car or something like that. But this time I went to hike up because it wasn't that big of a mountain or hillish, so it was quite fun to just walk up and see the city from other views. After Bern I went to the city called Interlaken, and Interlaken was kind of like the big grand finale. That was my goal for this travel. Like, it wasn't my end destination, but I really wanted to go here. So going here, I actually had super high expectations because all the pictures you've seen on social media and everything is just the Jungfrau region looks amazing. And Interlaken is kind of like the base camp of that region, where you can take trains and everything. And yeah, the second day, which were the first full day in Interlaken, my main goal was to go to Lauterbrunnen. And oh shit, I'm getting goosebumps when I talking about that village, because Lauterbrunnen, that has been a dream location for me for such a long while. And I was so happy that I was gonna finally go to that valley, because I've been wanting to go there for forever. Ever since I saw the pictures on social media, Google, and everything it just looks like a fairy tale, and I was super excited and super happy that I was finally gonna go there. And the first impression when I arrived there was just mind-blowing. Like, going off the train station and just see the valley from a distance and the waterfalls was just, yeah, it's unreal. Like, you can't capture that image on a camera or a photo or a video. It's something else, and I'm super happy that I finally went there. and could see it with my own eyes. When I was walking through Lauterbrunnen back and forth, I was thinking about my dad a lot. And yeah, a part of me felt really sad and heartbroken because I couldn't share to him my travel experiences when I started to travel. And why I couldn't share it with him was because my dad suffered with alcohol addiction, and that made my dad... He was basically a different person before he passed away 2 years ago due to liver cancer. And yeah, I had to distance myself because it was a person I couldn't agree with. And it's kind of funny because it pains me so much because he was actually the one who introduced me into traveling. He used to take me to travels when I was a kid, before everything went south with his addiction. Yeah, I have relatives in Denmark, so we used to go there on summers all the time, and I loved it every single time. But yeah, there's always gonna be a part of me that feels so much joy, and I can't stop smiling when I do these travels, because even though we disagreed on so much, traveling was one thing that we always agreed with, always agreed on. And I want to believe that a part of him is still living within me, that our passion is gonna pass on into generations, and I'm the one who's gonna pass it on. And that makes me so damn happy that a part of him is still living within me. And yeah, after Lauterbrunnen I went further up in the mountains, and you could stay in a place called Egg, I think it's pronounced. I stayed there for a little bit, and then I was really eager to see another village, and I went down to another village that was called, let's see, what was it called? Gringelwald. And yeah, now we're heading towards the second full day. And the second full day I went to another village that was called Murren. And why I went there was because I was so fascinated about... It was up in a mountain, and what I've read, I'm not entirely sure if this is true or not. If you live there, you can't own a car because it's up in a mountain. You need to take a cable car to be able to go to the valley. Or not valley, the village. And it was just super peaceful to walk through there. It was insane. And I'm just so happy that I decided to go just to this village, because it's something that I really needed after this hectic 2019. I really needed some quiet and peace, and it was just beautiful to walk through the village and on hiking paths and just see the mountains in front of you. So I went to a city down in the Italian border that was called Lugano. And yeah, my first full day I went up in a mountain. Let me check what it's called. Monterey. And yeah, I was staying in Lugano for 3 days, but I only had 2 full days. And the last day I was just walking besides the lake, and I wanted to go further away from the city and see the mountains from another viewpoint. And yeah, after Lugano, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do next, but I ended up going to the city Lucerne. And that was because it was 1 hour from the airport in Zurich, so I figured I just stay there for 3 nights, so I could explore that city before going home. And yeah, on the second day, I had no clue what I wanted to do within the city, because the city, at least I maybe missed out, but I felt like you couldn't really do much within the city. So the second full day I just walked around spontaneously as much as possible, and that was such a good decision because I got to see, like, I basically went up in a mountain where I could see basically like where farmers lived. Oh boy. And yeah, like the last day, man, I feel sad. I don't want to talk about the last day because then it reminds me that I'm back home and the travel is over, but that's okay. I can do more travels. But yeah, the last day I wanted to do a day trip somewhere, and I found this really interesting village that was outside Lucerne, 1 hour, and it was called Fluelen, I think it's pronounced. I hope so. I found that was really interesting because it had a lot of mountains around the lake, and I wanted to see that kind of scenery again after the first day in Interlaken. So I went there by train, and yeah, just the scenery was just, you could go on the docks where the boats were and just see the mountains going around the lake, and just so many hiking paths you could take and just see everything from a distance. It was really cool with the mountains because the mountains had snow on the tops, but the closer to the ground it was, it didn't have any snow because it was too warm at that time. It was really cool to see. Oh shoot, you made it this far into the video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. I really appreciate it, and it means the world to me. And it even means more if I can inspire people with solo traveling or just even traveling in general.